Wednesday edition, Mr. Irrelevant. I'm Alex Strouf with you from the Grubel offices. One call, that's our studio at the Avenue, downtown Milwaukee. Josh DiMaggio's here. Will Summers is here. Will's Week in Review on a Wednesday. Coming up a bit later, Hunter Vaughn's with us as always, back at the Everlight Solar Studio in downtown Madison. We got 13 seconds into the show, and Josh shook his head at me. What did I do now?
Just the way you're talking annoyed me.
It's the same way I talk every day.
No. You said something. I forget what it was. I moved past it already. But you said something. You tried to add some pizzazz, some flair to it.
I think I said, oh, yeah.
No.
Instead of, yeah, away we go.
No, that's not it.
Will, what did I do?
I don't know. It seemed a bit excessive by Josh.
I didn't even say anything. You brought it up.
Well, you immediately shook your head at me.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get into a rhythm. I'm trying to get our show set up. I'm trying to get into, the meat of what we're doing today.
More at you than I nod my head at you.
I mean, I wouldn't argue with that.
Yeah.
That's still kind of disrespectful. If you ask me.
I mean, you're just a lot recently.
What is that supposed to mean?
You're just everything about you. You're having one of your days.
Today?
Yeah.
I feel like I haven't even been bad to you today.
Well, we just had a discussion about how it's more likely that your phone camera faces you than it faces outwards.
I disagreed with, by the way.
But then you started to think about it, and you leaked confidence as we started talking about it more. You started as an oh no, and then you gave it thought, and you said, ugh.
Well, I guess I have to think about it this way. FaceTime, Snapchat, right? Those apps that I use rather infrequently, but enough.
There's no one here more eager to flick on the selfie cam and give a take.
Well, that's because I'm good at my job, Josh. And someday maybe you will be too. But
I don't know if you saw,
Great
I did
spin.
a great take. I did a great take on Aaron Rodgers signing with the Steelers. Had many fans and many haters, just the way you want it. Some people on Facebook were calling me highly intelligent, and others were calling me complete idiot.
That's true.
It's exactly where you want to be.
The 50-50 split.
The perfect range.
Yeah, it is the perfect range to live on.
Yeah, they weren't so nice, some of them.
No.
Facebook can get mean.
No, they were not.
Yeah, they do. And then they start fighting amongst each other. And it's like,
that's my favorite part.
Right? You guys aren't even... This started about the Packers, and now you were...
So, real quick, I'm glad you bring this up. And I don't know that I would have ever brought this up on the show, but this seems like an appropriate moment to do it. So, I post a lot of show clips on TikTok because it seems to get discussion going, and, obviously it's a little, get our show out there a little more.
That app, I know specifically... Especially if you get comments and interactions, it helps gain viewers and followers. Like, that's why you see a lot of people do the prompt thing, which works on Twitter a little bit.
Sure.
But TikTok, that is like a cheat code.
But what I've noticed about TikTok, you know what? Let's post this on TikTok. Hi, TikTok. Alex Strouf, Josh DiMaggio hanging out with you. We have a question for you. I have a statement, in fact. Maybe not a question. Let's start over. Take two. Hey, TikTok, Alex Strouf, Josh DiMaggio from Mr. Irrelevant on ESPN Wisconsin. I think apple pie is the best dessert.
Sound off in the comments.
I think it's cheesecake.
And now we'll get 40 comments. Just what happens on that app.
Leave a picture of your favorite doggo in the comments.
All right.
Tell me your favorite recipe that you cook at home every week. Which band did you forget about that is really great?
While we're on the topic of social media, I was going to bring this up. Why is it the most, just the majority of comments that come from Facebook are always middle-aged white men wearing Walmart Oakleys with goatees? I'm not saying positive or negative comments, but I guarantee you, if you look at the comment sections of just about anything, that will be the profile picture.
I think there's a lot of guys who don't have many pictures they like or have access to, so then they're always driving, almost always.
Oh, yeah, I forgot in the vehicle, too. I forgot that crucial part.
Yeah. I just think that's the place they find to take the picture, and then it became a sort of thing. There was a point where people with dog avies were pretty eager to get in fights and comments.
What did you just say?
Dog avies.
Whoa.
Avatars?
Yeah.
Why are we shortening avatar? It's already a short word.
I don't know.
Three syllables. It's kind of a big word.
I kind of seen it commonly referred to that on
Never heard anyone say that before
common
in my life.
parlance.
Internet guy.
But yeah, you used to see that a lot where people now people just go like put a random picture they see and then have a burner account and usually just espouse whoever they hate, whatever they hate, whatever opinion they hate. It used to be you just put a picture of your dog on there and then you just said mean things to people. There's been a distinct change. The burnerverse has really taken off. I fell victim to them twice in 1 week. It's an interesting place to be.
What was the other time?
The video that Theo Ash took out of context of my joke I made at Travis Hunter's expense when he made an incredible play as a defensive back, but he dropped the ball, and I said it was incomplete and it was second down. He and 1,000, I shouldn't say 1,000, there was a couple dozen people, none of which were using their actual name or picture, who decided
welcome to the internet.
Who decided they wanted to call me an idiot.
Wow.
I found it funny. Some of them were not safe for work comments.
Well, that's how it goes sometimes. All right. I have breaking news from Packers mandatory minicamp from Rob Domofsky. What an unbelievable end to practice. Jordan Love with Lucas Van Ness in his face uncorked a deep ball to McCole Hardman, a 74-yard touchdown.
I think it's time that we start competing for championships.
I agree with Goody, and McCole Hardman's certainly a piece that'll get you there.
I'd like to see the video, because whenever I hear in training camp or mini camp,
Uncorked?
No, in defender in your face, what that tells me is said defender had gotten home, but pulled up because you can't hit the $55 million a year man. So maybe like I did with that Travis Hunter video, I should find this video and just tweet sack.
Yes.
Just make it your thing this offseason. Just exaggerate everything that happens at the training camp, at OTAs, and mandatory minicamp. I like that idea.
Yeah.
Well, a lot of overreaction. Speaking of overreaction in mandatory minicamp, from the situation regarding Bo Melton, the Packers wide receiver, but kind of now cornerback, it sounds like, as Bo Melton, the first day of mandatory minicamp yesterday, participating in all sorts of cornerback drills, in fact, taking snaps during the 11-on-11s with the first-team defense. Also taking snaps with the first-team offense on top of that. Bo Melton, speedy, athletic, and a piece clearly the Packers like and are floating around ideas of how to potentially keep him on the 53-man roster since the wide receiver room is so deep. Now, some of the commentary I've seen around this is, oh, they cut Jaire, now they're going to a wide receiver? They must hate their quarterbacks. Goody's got to do something. Give me a damn break, would you? The Bo Melton situation is not, whoa, panic time. We don't like our cornerbacks. We got to do something there. It's, hey, we like this guy, and we think he's capable of doing more than one thing, so let's see what he's capable of if we give him a couple reps at cornerback. Look, let me break it to you. Breaking news from Mr. Relevant. Bo Melton isn't a starting cornerback on the Green Bay Packers. He won't be a starting cornerback on the Green Bay Packers. Breaking news from Mr. Relevant.
I love how that sounds. It sounds like it's been used and reused 8 million times. That sounder.
Play it again, Hunter.
That's why I love it.
Some crackle to it.
Yes, it does. It has a very early 2000s, late 90s, like we used it and then we've downloaded it 6 different times and re-uploaded it.
It sounds like we used it on like a tape deck first.
Yes,
yeah.
yes.
Sounds like it's been through a lot. I've seen some things.
It does.
That sounder's older than you, Will.
Yeah, it is.
It just kind of hits you in the teeth.
Yeah, it has a certain. Yeah, we've come a long way since that was originally brought to our ears. So, I saw a lot of the reaction you're talking about. Most of it coming from the people who don't have actual pictures or their names online.
Good callback.
I don't know. I don't know, and I wasn't able to hear how overreactions in the afternoon went. The show you produced, 2 to 5 p.m.
We're just going to ignore them today.
I don't know how they handled it. If I were to guess, they probably thought this is a bad sign and that they're desperate and they're trying anything. It's very, very, very simple. Remarkably simple. So easy that the Packers are telling us directly what this situation is. Bo Melton does not have a spot at wide receiver on this roster.
Probably not. I wouldn't go so definitive with it.
Stop. Yes, he does not have a job.
Well, how many spots would they keep?
6.
And those 6 are?
You just swap him out for Malik Heath. And then when Christian Watson comes back, Malik Heath, welcome to the practice squad.
Yeah, okay, got it.
Yes, it's as simple as that. If you want to say McCole Hardman, sure, whatever.
Okay.
Whatever it is, whatever that 6th spot is.
But I guess in your brain, I just want to get into your brain, and I'm not joking when I say this. You obviously view the top 5 as the top 5.
Yes.
We know that would be the 2 rookies. Excuse
Yes.
me, the top 6, the 2 rookies and the other 4. But Watson will be on IR likely to start the season, so that leaves another spot. So whether that's Malik Heath or McCole Hardman, you view Bo Melton beneath them.
Yes, because
Thus why they're doing this.
Yes.
Got it.
Yes, because I don't think if they told him he had a real shot at being a wide receiver on the roster in 2025, that they would split up his time as he's trying to fight for a job and say, hey, can you in 3 months learn how to play cornerback and make an NFL roster doing that? Something that, I mean, maybe he did it in high school, but he certainly hasn't done it in a long time. And the NFL is a whole lot different than wherever he might have done it last.
Yeah, but I mean, and I'm going to get to more of this point in a moment, but I think they like versatility.
Well, here's also, you didn't let me finish my point.
Oh, boy.
Let the man cook, as Will would say.
Will, go ahead and say it.
Let the man cook.
What this also is telling us is they really like Bo Melton. They really like him as a special teamer. Mm-hmm. And they've seen a skill set there that they think has a potential to translate. What they're also telling us is they like the way he is in the locker room. They like his effort and they like the work he does. So they are giving him the opportunity to, hey, here is something we're going to do because we like you and we think you do everything the right way. You know, you're busting your ass. You're here every day for your teammates. You're doing all the right things. So if there is a spot for you as a practice squad corner and we can continue to build those skills throughout the season, you could also be a dual threat. Say we have a couple injuries at the wide receiver position. Well, guess what? You already know how to do that. And we could bring you up in spots because it's not like there's going to be no wide receiver injuries until Christian Watson comes back. And there's no even guarantee on what time Christian Watson will be back. So in that spot, we are making you as useful to us as possible. And the other part is you're athletic. You have a skill set that a lot of guys would be envious of, and your body type might actually fit a little bit better with a cornerback position. This isn't, oh my God, we just released Jaire Alexander. We need to find somebody to fill this hole. That's not the case. It's just simply they're doing a service or what they view as doing right by one of their players. A guy who has been big for them at moments and been there every step of the way. It has nothing to do with the release of Jaire Alexander. I do think it's a little interesting that the next time, so we hear news about Jaire, and then the next time there's practices available that he's running routes. I don't know if that's supposed to like be a misleading tactic or what's going on, why this wasn't happening at OTAs, or maybe it was and they weren't showing it. Like that to me seems a little suspect, and it might be them trying to be clever in some way that I don't know if it's working the way they might have thought it was internally, because OTAs weren't totally open, but there were open practices.
2 of them, yeah.
Do we think that was Bo Melton's first time trying that? Like, that to me seems like they should probably started earlier.
Yeah, I mean, it's obviously dependent on when the idea came around, right? And maybe that's an idea they had.
And I mean, maybe he had
weekend.
a conversation with the offensive staff, and they said, hey, we don't know if there's a spot for you here, and it's looking unlikely. And this is to say nothing of your work ethic, of the type of guy you are, but we've made investments here. And I mean, he knows too.
Yeah.
He saw Savion Williams, Matthew Golden get drafted, and he goes, ooh.
Not great for me.
Yeah.
Right.
Would he keep the number 80 as a DB?
Yeah, 22 as a wide receiver and 80 as a DB is going to be sick.
It wasn't 80.
And I don't mean that as
Ty Montgomery, wasn't that? Was
he was 88?
Yeah.
88, yeah. I had a Ty Montgomery jersey. I think I've told you that.
Of course you did.
One of the last jerseys I purchased. I was a big Ty Montgomery fan. But, yeah, no. And by the way, when I say that would be sick, I do not mean that as like, oh, that'd be awesome. I mean that would be ill. That would be medically wrong.
Medically.
So, all right, Hunter, give me my breaking news sounder again, because I got to declare something. I got to make a sweeping declaration. I am officially declaring the Green Bay Packers youth movement dead. It's dead. The youth movement is done. Here's why. They're still young and will be, if not one of the youngest teams in the NFL. I get that. But I don't think the Packers roster is based on youth anymore. I think it's based on versatility now. We have graduated from the youth movement to the versatility movement in Green Bay. Think about Elton Jenkins. He can play tackle. He can play guard. This year, he's going to be their starting center. When you go on defense, you think about Javon Bullard, who can play safety, he can play cornerback, maybe even play a little bit of linebacker if you really need him to. They signed Isaiah Simmons this offseason, linebacker/safety. Keyshawn Nixon, all-pro kick returner, going to be a top corner. And now Bo Melton, wide receiver and cornerback. Versatility seemingly is the new attribute that the Packers are paying the most attention to. Now, sure, they still want to be young, and they're not signing free agents that are over the age of 30. So the youth movement philosophy still exists. But it's no longer about the youth movement. It's year 3 under quarterback Jordan Love as the starter. It's about chasing championships now. So I think the Packers are beginning to care a hell of a lot more about versatility than they do necessarily about youth. So I am declaring, as of today, June 11, 2025, the Packers youth movement is dead. Welcome to the versatility movement.
Did I not, and did we not make clear that we weren't going to be overreacting?
I don't think this is an overreaction. I think this is real.
I think the versatility thing you're speaking of has been a long-standing.
I agree with that. But I think it's been extra emphasized this offseason. Because to your point, offensive linemen, that's always been their thing, right?
Yes.
We want guys who can play guard, we want guys who can play tackle, we want guys who can play inside and outside, right? That's always been their philosophy with the offensive line. I agree with you on that. But it seems like defensively, that was a big pound on the glass by those
she was waving and her phone hit it.
Oh,
so she got embarrassed and ran.
Okay.
Yeah.
Whoops. But I would say defensively, under Jeff Hafley, they seemingly are bringing in more guys that can play more than one spot on the field, right? So you're not just like locked into one spot. Even they're experimenting with Lucas Van Ness inside rather than outside on the defensive line. It seems to me like it's just been kicked up a little bit, especially defensively, with guys that can play all over the field, which I think is a good thing in this defense.
I think the result of what we're seeing on defense is more to do with the inadequacy of the defensive line, and we're not going to sit on our hands. We have to do something. Lucas Van Ness also played inside in college.
Yeah.
I don't know why it was a revelation this offseason that maybe we should try him there a little bit.
Yeah, year 3.
Yeah. By the way, position changing is usually not good. Or considering playing guys elsewhere.
I mean, the Bo Melton one, I would agree. The other ones, though, I think are fine.
LVN it also fits in that.
I think it's problematic. Yeah,
yeah.
Right. You're actually right on that
You've been ineffective.
Yeah.
So we basically, with what we invested in you, we need to find a way to make you some level of productive. So I think that's a result of that. I think the defensive backs, I think that it's fair. I mean, Nate Hobbs is obviously the one, but he's playing 2 cornerback positions. There's not all that much changing going on. You're Javon Bullard, obviously strong safety / nickel guy. I think that's just a lot about the modern NFL.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of guys they want to play that way. I think they view some of the guys who are able to do that well, like Budda Baker comes up to mind, who I'm not sure is excellent at any of the position he plays, but he's pretty good at all of them. And that makes him a versatile and useful tool for them. And there's many other guys throughout modern NFL that you can point to that. Like Micah Parsons, until he became an unstoppable force, was playing inside linebacker. And then they said, well, this is probably better for our team. Zach Bond.
Yep.
I think it's a one layer of monkey see, monkey do. We've seen people have success at this. Maybe we can try it. We've also seen guys like Isaiah Simmons. Who did you even mention that in your first? Okay, I missed that part. He's not good at any of the positions he's played
so far.
Yes,
but I am actually holding out
because
hope.
he was edge rusher, linebacker, safety, and he's below average at them all.
Below average is probably strong.
He might.
He's not average.
He might be average at middle linebacker.
Here's the thing I'm holding out hope with him on, though. And you know I'm a big proponent of this. I'm a big believer in change of scenery can be good. I know this is his second change of scenery as he comes to Green Bay, but I think for him, if he gets in a position friendly defense, which I think both of the positions he plays are very highly touted in this Jeff Hafley scheme, I think he can become a really nice depth piece. I don't think he's a starter.
No,
but I think
special teamer /
in a situation, situationally, right? And so I think he can be kind of a tweener, whether he's like lining up as a linebacker but covering a tight end type thing. I actually am holding out hope he can become a nice piece for this defense.
I'm not.
Okay, understood.
I think Isaiah McDuffie's going to get all the looks before him.
Agreed.
Then
I
you
agree
add
with that.
in Colin Oliver, who's also played a little inside linebacker as well, who's one of those edge outside guys that they think can do both.
And they're excited about him.
Yes. So there's I think it's going to be hard for him to find his way onto the field short of maybe multiple injuries. I think special teams, he's going to be probably one of their best special teamers. And you kind of really can't have too many of those guys that can, in a pinch, play defense and also contribute on base. I mean, he's going to be on every special teams. There's nowhere you could really say, yeah, he doesn't belong there. Because, like, even punt coverage, field goal, like, there's all the spots. So I have a really hard time putting to bed, as you seem to want to do, the youth movement when Goody hasn't and will not sign guys over 30, aside from the very...
Well, I think it's just a philosophy of his. But that doesn't need to be the identity of this team anymore. Because we did 2 seasons of the youth movement as the identity of this team. So
what I'm learning is you want to do away with it regardless of... Because youth is still going to have to contribute.
Well, of course. And I think it does on every football team.
Right, but the Packers
especially
have clearly prioritized guys needing to contribute. Like Jordan Morgan is ostensibly a rookie. Marshawn Lloyd is ostensibly a rookie. Then Matthew Golden, Savion Williams. Lucas Musgrave has a half a season of play at this point.
More than that. More than that. His rookie year, he was pretty healthy until the end of the year when Tucker Kraft kind of got his first looks. And then last year, he was on and off. But, yeah, by the way, great use of the word ostensibly twice. And Will was not paying attention.
This guy's asleep at the wheel. It's his segment.
Will, wake up!
I think he's still asleep.
I thought Josh said a big word, so I had to go back and see what it was.
Ostensibly.
Yeah, I'm writing it down.
That's exactly what we were talking about, in fact.
Sorry, I was studying.
And then Josh said, Will is asleep at the wheel, and you weren't paying attention.
I
literally yelled, wake up to him, too.
I had to see all the syllables so I could figure out how to spell it.
O-S-T.
No, let me
E-N-S.
figure it out. Shut up.
Oh, wow.
Spicy.
Snarky on a day. He gets a segment. Yeah, so ostensibly, I agree. on some of those guys who are ostensibly
that
rookies.
came out natural.
Yeah, definitely. Wait, you could tell that was
Smooth
unnatural.
as
What are you talking about? You know me. I would just say I'm killing the youth movement because I think the big part of why we use that as the Packers' identity the last 2 seasons is because of the quarterback. Right? Your quarterback was inexperienced. Despite being in the league for several years, he wasn't a starter. He was unproven. You didn't really know what you had in him. And so especially year 1, where they ultimately went on that great run, won a playoff game, yada, yada, in 2023, you didn't really know what you had, so that was the youth movement. All these rookies are contributing, or second-year guys are contributing, and then it's a young quarterback, you have no idea what you got in him. Last year, kind of the same thing, right? A lot of rookies contributing, especially on defense. You have year 2 receivers, tight ends, and a year 2 starting quarterback. But now we get into year 3 of Jordan Love. It's very clear he is the quarterback of the future for the Packers. He is going to be the staple. He's going to be the face of this team. The offensive line is getting older. You're entering year 4 for Zach Tom, Rasheed Walker, Sean Ryan. Elton Jenkins is turning 30 this year.
Are we sure Sean Ryan has a spot on the starting line?
No, it'll be Jordan Morgan. I think
he's not going to start at left tackle?
Now, that's an interesting point.
You know who got first reps? And
No,
I don't think I think didn't really run
At left tackle or run right
left
guard?
tackle.
Left tackle, I would assume, would be Morgan.
Yeah, he took, I believe, most of the snaps.
And then who was that right guard? Ryan?
That I wasn't aware of. I just saw that Jordan Morgan was taking the snaps, and then people were pointing out that Rasheed Walker is now with the rehab group. I don't know. I imagine they were probably switching out Belton and Ryan there. I mean, the Packers don't want to play Sean Ryan, let's be honest.
No, I don't think so.
They called him fat last year.
They did. Yeah, well, without saying it like that, but yes.
Yeah.
They were nice
They talked
about
about
it.
his how in shape he was.
Right.
Which
Now,
is,
unlike the dog Abbeys on Facebook, they were nice about it.
yeah, I mean, and Mike McCarthy once calling Eddie Lacy,
Oh.
I believe, did he use overweight instead?
I believe he used overweight.
Yeah.
Was he wrong?
No, that was an era where people were trying to convince us that it was the angles we were looking at.
Yeah.
That was a great time to be alive.
He looked like a defensive tackle.
Bad angle for him.
And I do want to be respectful to Eddie Lacy. He's a guy that went through a lot in his life, and he clearly, and he's said so, he only played football because he was good at it. He really didn't care about football. He didn't particularly enjoy playing football. It was just, hey, I've got a lot of talent, and there's a lot of money in this. I should probably ride it out.
And he sure did, and he did a great job.
Yeah.
Won Rookie of the Year.
Yes.
Right? I mean, he was awesome his first couple of years in Green Bay.
What I'm hearing when you're talking about getting rid of the youth movement, I think you are wishing and hoping and trying to get past it more so than I think it is reality and practice.
I'm not saying, because I think it's still likely they will be the youngest team in the league, or second youngest team in the league.
There certainly will be within the top 5.
So I guess I'm not necessarily disagreeing that they are a young team. But I think you have to get away from this being the identity, the narrative of this football team.
Here's
because
the thing.
it can't be. If you're actually a team, and Hunter played the hotkey earlier from Goody, right? Like, and Hunter, if you've got it ready, like Goody said, it's time we start competing for championships.
I think it's time that we start competing for championships.
Right? So if you actually want to use that and say, hey, it's time we start competing for championships, there's no more freaking excuses about being young. There's no more freaking excuses about being inexperienced.
This is what I thought you were getting
But it's not wish casting, Joshy. It's a matter of fact. If the general manager is saying it is time we start competing for championships around here, then you can't go, well, they're young, they're inexperienced, they don't know the playbook yet. Like, all those BS excuses are out the window now. That's no longer the identity of your team.
I don't know who you were listening to or talking to that actually said those were worthwhile excuses. I know people tried to push that narrative, and they try and use it as an excuse, maybe when their team's being attacked and they don't like it. The second Jordan Love signed a contract, that was Super Bowl or bust. That's how NFL teams go. When you sign that guy and you make your franchise quarterback and you put your stamp down and you say, this is the guy we're building our future around, that was the moment. Adrian Cooper is going to continue to make mistakes based on his youth. Evan Williams is going to do the same thing. Matthew Golden and Savion Williams are going to line up in the wrong spot, and they're going to have to call timeout because they don't know where they need to be. Like, that stuff's all going to keep happening, and it's not an excuse. It's a reality. So Goody knows those things are going to happen, and he could say it's time to compete for championships, and he might believe it, but the reality is youth is still going to affect the Packers in 2025. And I don't see any logical way around that. There's going to be plenty of guys that are contributing eventually because of injury, whatever it is. When you diagnose and analyze what you're watching from the Packers, there are going to be moments of youth mistakes. And I think Goody has basically decided he's okay with those as long as those guys continue to progress throughout the season. And we've seen it, sort of kind of 2 years in a row. Guys who were inconsistent or were having a hard time being on the field, by the time the end of the season rolled around, they looked like real contributors and real NFL players. But things happen. Guys from 2 to 3 don't always increase or get that much better. 1 to 2, they also don't always. They'll show flashes. There'll be moments of brilliance. But then there'll be a moment where you go, yeah, this guy is kind of learning on the fly here. I think the Packers have prioritized versatility from day one. I think it's maybe coming to the forefront now because of the way Jeff Hafley approaches his defense. And I think the Packers are doing right by him by giving him multifaceted weapons. Because I think they saw last year when he gets creative, Jeff Hafley is amongst the best defensive coordinators in the league. The guy's 1 year as a DC and already getting head coaching interviews. Mm-hmm. That to me all matters. Mm-hmm. I hope that he stays for more than one more year because, or at least there's a disciple of his that is just going to keep things the same.
Yeah, this team makes the playoffs, so he's gone.
I kind of believe that too. If they win a game or two, he's going to be one of the. He's going to be one of the hottest candidates on the market. They were a top 10 defense last year.
Yes, they were. Yep.
If they bump up towards a 6,
top 5,
yeah, kiss them goodbye.
And obviously no NFL head coaching experience, but head coaching experience during his time, obviously,
which
at
I
Boston
think
College.
makes it even easier for them. Where this guy's dealt with it in some, but I know we want to be done with the youth, but I think it's going to be every single year.
But hold on,
moving forward.
Again, I'm not making the case that the youth movement or the youth doesn't play a role, because naturally you're going to have rookies that are contributing. It's just how their number one receiver this year might be a rookie. I'm not disagreeing with that part of it, Josh. It's more I don't want, and maybe you're right. When Love signed that contract, maybe I'm 11 months late on declaring this.
I think our big difference is I didn't think it was an excuse last year, and you might have still thought it was.
I think it was.
That's probably where we're missing each other.
Yeah, I think so.
Because I didn't view it last year as a worthy as a worthy excuse. Because it's two parts. One, the Jordan Love thing, and this is the way Goody's building a team. And if he believes this can be successful, then guess what? Youth doesn't matter that much to him. And this isn't just a lead up to trying to win a Super Bowl. This is how he thinks he can win a Super Bowl and will win a Super Bowl, with churning guys constantly, not giving out second, third contracts. He thinks that through free agency and through the draft, that he can supplement his team incrementally every single year to put out a team he believes can be a Super Bowl winner.
Yeah.
I think the only time Goody really didn't think he would have had a Super Bowl winner was the first year Jordan Love. I think every year since then, he's put together teams he believes could go out and win Super Bowls.
I had to think about it, but I think I agree. Yeah.
Yeah. Rasul Douglas getting traded.
It pretty much indicates that.
Clearing sign, he didn't have a whole lot of hope for that season.
Let's just get some more ammo in the draft, and we'll call it good, baby. And then they went on that remarkable run. This is a really good conversation. I enjoyed this.
Productive. We figured out where we were missing each other. We were talking in circles for a bit, but we got there.
We were, but I think they were still worthwhile circles to walk in.
I think a lot of people, because I mean, I've seen it on the talk and text line, the YouTube chats. I mean, even callers. I'm sick of the youth thing, and it's like, yeah, but if we don't let it be an excuse and we understand this is just how the team's being built, then that all goes away.
Yeah,
and you sort of just take it in stride, and you can disagree with the way Goody builds his team or thinks he can build the team. Yeah, that's fine.
Just real quick, I don't think I viewed it as an excuse last year because we saw what they could be. Right, they could go on the road and win a playoff game. They could compete with the NFC champion the year prior. So I think the expectations naturally rose last year, as they should have. Mm-hmm. But when you hear things like, "Oh, they led the league in drops,"
yes,
stuff like that. That preaches, oh, they're young and they'll get better.
Maybe this is something that even where we're missing each other. I don't really attribute drops in all situations to youth.
No,
I'm quicker to say, oh, they're just not that good. And maybe I have a little more negative view.
Boy, do I wish we had another hour like we do on Friday. We'll be at Door County Distillery Friday from 12 to 2 with you.
Because that's kind of how, like, I believe in both Jaden Reed and Dontavian Wicks, but if they become just guys, I'd be like, yeah, that's kind of, based on where you drafted them, what they were thought of. Like,
ultimately what they showed us.
You can make the case for them having the ability to be better, but sometimes you just are what you are. And I'm not giving up on any of them. Really, the only young guy I've given up on is LVN. He's the one I'm at with, I'm not going to believe in you until you literally show me you can do it.
Yeah. I agree on that.
And maybe that's too quick to judge, and there might be egg on my face, but...
There might be egg on my face. All right, there you go. All right, Wisconsin Badgers fans, real quick. I got to do a giveaway, and then we'll get to Will. We've got Made 'em Believe coming up June 26th at the Orpheum Theater in Madison. If you're in the Madison area, if you're in Wisconsin, this is going to be such a great event. I'm really looking forward to being there. As you guys know, I am a ginormous college basketball fan. So this is going to be a really cool night. Everybody's going to be there. Bo Ryan, Frank Kaminsky, Sam Decker, Josh Gosher, and then, of course, moderated by their former teammate, Ben Brust. It's Made 'em Believe, June 26th at the Orpheum Theater in Madison. You can get tickets at uwhoops2015.com, or you can get a pair of tickets right now. Caller 3 to 844-770-3776. Caller 3, 844-770-3776. You're going to get a pair of tickets to Made 'em Believe at the Orpheum Theater in Madison. Thursday, June 26th. Again, that number, 844-770-3776. A pair of Made 'em Believe tickets. You'll just have to connect with Hunter, give him your info, and we will see you June 26th at the Orpheum Theater. Will, go ahead.
Matt Schneidman over at The Athletic just tweeted out about Jordan Love's 75-yard pass that Matt LaFleur says he's not sure Love would have gotten this pass off in a real game. Vindication again.
I hate
Josh
it here.
was right.
This is why I'm buying all the Josh stock.
Josh was right.
I didn't even see video of it.
Within minutes.
We need a sounder. And maybe it's just Hunter hitting that button and saying it.
I think it should be the...
Josh was right.
He left the studio. He left me in here to fight on my own.
Strouf quit. What a coward.
He's in here with me now.
It's unbelievable that all that happened. I never even saw the tweet. I had the tweet read to me, and I was able to determine, well, that kind of sounds like he would have taken a sack there. And here we are. Here we stand.
This ain't your first minicamp.
Wow.
You read the tea leaves?
Man, when you talk about knowing ball, I think you got to start right here.
I hate it here.
No, you don't. Shut up.
That is so funny. I mean, it's just that's perfect, man. I love it here. All right. Well, we'll talk Giannis on Friday. I don't want to do Giannis right now because we've been rolling football talk, Joshy vindication, dog Avies, all the in-betweens. Been a fun show thus far. Let's keep the fun rolling. Each and every Wednesday, Will Summers, who has gone from intern Will to part-time Will, and pretty much full-time on Mr. Irrelevant, he's been with us every show recently, has prepared a statement, a week in review, on Mr. Irrelevant, where he does kind of as I always try to say, you do kind of like your Chris Berman fastest 2 minutes impression. Whoop, 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 what?
Back.
Can you guys do that in between the stories now?
We can mix it in. Will, I don't know what your topics are. All you told me was you're looking for redemption. You weren't super proud of your effort last week.
Yeah, I was talking more Mondays. The Mr. Irrelevant Army knows. One thing we do is I write down words that Josh says.
Is he just giving the community a title?
Yeah. Yeah, he just did it.
That's wild.
The Mr. Irrelevant Army.
I think I like that.
The Irrelevant Army.
The MIA.
Hey, Chef Ed, if you're still hanging out, let me know if you like it. You're here every day. Chef Ed, let us know.
That is a nice acronym, the MIA.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Yeah.
So anyways, I fumbled.
This is why
Monday.
we keep them around. All right, let's go, baby.
Fumbled on Monday trying to use some of the big words in a sentence, so I'm here to redeem myself today. Hunter, hit it.
Godspeed.
In a sports week that felt like a furnace blast of headlines, the Oklahoma City Thunder took Game 2 of the NBA Finals. Jaire Alexander silenced the critics with 34 points and proved that it behooves everyone to stop being pedantic about their inexperience. The Florida Panthers continued to hold up their end of the donkey after winning last year's Stanley Cup, taking a 2-1 lead over the Oilers after a 6-1 win.
What?
Over in the NFL vestibule, the Packers released star cornerback Jaire Alexander, a move that, if I had my druthers, would have happened far earlier in the offseason. The Brewers, meanwhile, couldn't wax poetically about their recent 8-game win streak, having dropped a series to the Padres, but they look to rebound today in the rubber match of their series against the Braves. And in NBA rumor land, whispers about Giannis Antetokounmpo possibly leaving Milwaukee stirred panic among Bucks fans. But Brian Windhorst has reported that right now there is no Giannis Antetokounmpo trade market. There's no Giannis trade discussions. He has not asked for it. The Bucks are not looking to trade him. So for now, Milwaukee can breathe easy, sans a departure at least. With your Mr. Irrelevant week recap, I'm Will Summers.
It's pretty good.
Did I get them all right?
All right, here's the thing. So companies have mission statements, right?
Uh-huh.
And I would say ESPN Milwaukee's mission statement is very loosely, and this is oftentimes the mission statement of talk radio stations or talk radio outlets or talk media outlets at that, really, given that we are not on the radio on this very program. I would say to inform and to entertain,
yes.
Right? That would be fair?
Yes.
To inform, to educate, and to entertain is what we're doing with Will Summers. I think we are informing him, we are entertaining him, and Josh, you are educating him.
Yeah.
I've actually been getting headaches because my brain's getting so much bigger.
Having trouble keeping that thing in that cranium of yours?
Mm-hmm.
Gonna have to get new hats.
Carrying it around all day.
I think everything he used perfectly, except for we kind of shoehorned in vestibule.
Yeah, I think there's multiple meanings of that word.
But it was used in a context you could understand. But typically, when people think vestibule, they think pretty specifically the area between like the interior and the entrance.
So the Florida Panthers are one game away from being in the vestibule of winning the Stanley Cup.
Nope.
Sure. But
I don't know if
I don't want to get hung up on the one thing of a remarkable job by Will throughout.
I mean, he legitimately used like 9 terms he didn't know 2 weeks ago.
Yes.
This was every single one that we've had on the list.
Good for you. Any newcomers today? Oh, no, we'll get to that one in a bit.
Let's not jump the gun.
Yeah, sorry. I just got excited.
One word at a time.
That was good redemption by you. Well
Thank
done.
you.
Well done. Let's get to One Word Wednesday. You know the drill. Hunter's got a list of topics. Josh and I have one word, usually more, to respond to whatever the topics are. It is time now for One Word Wednesday. Hunter, your time to shine, baby. Let's go.
All right. Saw this from Front Office Sports. There's conversations that college basketball will be moving from the halves to quarters.
Okay. I'm fine with it. Women's already do this. I don't. I actually got mad when high school moved away from this in like 2015, 2014 maybe. I don't get it because the NBA is quarters, college is halves, but women's is quarters. It's never made sense to me.
International is
I'd
also
be okay with
quarters.
this. Right. I think this would make sense, frankly.
I don't want to dismiss it. Indifferent is one word, and another would be confused. That I don't know how this is even really going to impact in any real way the results we see. It's something that I don't know if it's almost just better to keep it because it makes it unique. That's like the only argument I have for it. I guess I don't know what to do with it other than why was it halves? How did it maintain halves for so long? That's the real question I want to get to the bottom of is why does college basketball still do that? And I don't think anyone has a good answer.
Nope.
I don't.
There's just something about seeing 19 minutes on the clock in a basketball game that fires me up.
Yeah. I mean, I was actually, while you were talking there, Josh, I was trying to think of how they go ahead and fix the TV times then. Because right now it's the under 16, the under 12, the under 8, the under 4.
Well, if I were to guess, there's going to be more commercials. Typically, you make things to make.
So it would be a 10-minute quarter.
Yes.
So there'd be like an under 5, and then obviously between quarters there'd be a natural opportunity.
Yeah, I don't think they're doing this to get less inventory and less cash.
Fair point by you. What's next?
Yep. This audio from Badgers head coach Luke Fickell as he was on the Jim Rome show talking about the offense for Wisconsin.
Another great thing. It was something that we really had to kind of do here, and for a lot of different reasons. You know, I mean, we need to be about the offensive line. We need to be about having balance, throwing and running. I didn't say we need to be the old school Wisconsin, but we needed to get back in the ways to physicality of making sure the guys up front. And it doesn't mean that
Badger football's back, baby.
Is it?
It is.
I saw him, or I heard him say, we want to do this, but it doesn't mean this, but it does mean this, but it doesn't mean this. I like Luke Fickell. I liked the hire. It ain't working.
My word's suspicious.
My word is doubtful.
I'm suspicious of everything going on there. I'm suspicious of, as you said, it's this, but not this, but could be this.
Right.
It seems like we're kind of we realize where a lot of the fan base is and a lot of the influencers on the Badgers and where they stand. And it seems like maybe we're trying to appease them despite not fully agreeing with that vision forward.
The rest of the clip, he does talk about like the air raid system relying so heavily on the quarterback and wanting to move away from that. And like,
yeah, you know why? Because they don't have enough money for a real quarterback.
I did
actually a backup quarterback because their starters got hurt both years.
Yeah, good point.
Braden Locke was ass.
I did basically see him throw under the bus all the previous quarterbacks he's had, where he said our play at quarterback couldn't overcome our offense couldn't overcome our quarterback play, which I mean we all knew, but I didn't think he'd kind of just direct all the shots at them.
Yeah, got to take the heat off where you can. Sticking with Badger football, high school player by the name McCoy Smith yesterday got a offer from the Badgers. That name should not ring a bell for anyone unless you're me and do Zimbrick Honda's presentation of Prep Mania. He's a linebacker for Wanakee, but he was offered as a fullback. So again, Badger football is back if we're offering fullback scholarships.
Next.
Bernstein.
Okay. Thought that
The greatest Badgers fullback of all time. That's all I gotta say.
He's an electric factory.
Oh, his hurdles. When was the last time? And probably never is going to be the answer. You turned on a little Matt Bernstein highlight tape. That is an all-time.
I had him on a show a few years ago, so I think probably then. I don't remember what show that was.
He was sweet.
But he was sweet.
That was too loud.
Whoa.
Sorry about that.
And a change.
We got a royal family update. What's coming?
Well, no, this is the theme to Superman because today the tickets for the new Superman movie came on sale. So will you guys go see Superman with me?
News is the word for me. It is news to me that there's a new Superman movie. I had no idea.
Breaking.
Yeah, July 11th, new Superman. Looks awesome.
Bad news, Hunter. I'll be in Vegas on July 11th.
Yeah, I'm probably busy that day.
I think I'll have a hang now.
You guys suck.
Hangnail is Josh's word.
One final one. Team USA men's soccer lost to Switzerland 4-0 yesterday.
These are
pathetic.
Yeah, sure.
If I knew more, but there's people I know that pay a lot of attention to U.S. Men's soccer, and they have a lot to say on it. It seems like there is something that's happening in the men's and U.S. soccer thing that has less to do with football, and it seems like a corrupt agency that is just trying to pat each other on the back and give jobs to their friends.
Yep.
It's fair.
That's sort of the takeaway I've gotten from listening to people who know more and spend more time watching and paying attention. But when you talk soccer, especially international soccer, you have to talk about corruption. It is the kind of
it's required at this point.
Factor. Yeah. You remember who was the FIFA president that after they found out with the Qatar thing that it was basically an entire, like, he was getting paid and it was all underhanded to get the World Cup there. He then went out in a press conference and in no fewer words said, yes, I am the president. You can't get rid of me and there's nothing you can do about it.
Sepp Blatter.
Which is
good name.
Which is gangster, but also tells you everything you need to know. They're like, hey, there's all these accusations of corruption, and he just said,
didn't expect Joshy saying something was gangster today.
Yeah, that was not on my bingo card.
And I meant it gangster in the mafia mob. Yeah, I'm doing this, and who's gonna stop me?
Who's gonna stop me? All right, you learned something new every day. We learned something new today. It's time now for What We Learned, which is presented by Door County Distillery, where we will be on Friday. We're going to be outside, too. You boys hear that? We're outside. We're going to be enjoying the weather out on the patio at Door County Distillery. Pretty exciting stuff.
It's going to be
up in
electric.
Carlsville. We'll be there from noon until 2 on Friday for a live edition of Mr. Irrelevant. But if you're not coming up to Door County this weekend, if you don't already have a vacation up there, you live up there or whatever, good news for you is you can bring Door County to you with Door County Distillery, whether it is their delicious bourbon, the single malt whiskey, any of the in-betweens, man, rums, brandies, all the good stuff. Door County Distillery does it better than everybody else. It's affordable, it's local, it is award-winning, it is the best. Visit their website, doorcountydistillery.com. Find a huge list of unique cocktail recipes. I believe I called it Ginormous on Monday, a ginormous list of cocktail recipes. And an awesome tool to help you find the product and the retailer that carries it nearest you. That, again, their website, doorcountydistillery.com. Joshy, can I take your girlfriend out on a date?
Huh?
Can I take your girlfriend out on a date?
No.
Reasonable response.
Do you want to continue to maybe give context to why you would ask me something so strange?
Hunter, can I take your wife out on a date?
Absolutely not.
Reasonable response. I'd ask Will, but he's single.
What?
Got him.
The New York Knicks have no plan. The New York Knicks' plan is, rather than keeping the coach that brought us to the Eastern Conference Finals for the first time in 25 years, we're actually going to go after other people's coaches. Instead of finding my own girlfriend, I'm going to go after other people's girlfriends. I'm going to try to home wreck. That is the approach of James Dolan and the New York Knicks right now, as they have requested to interview 3 coaches who are actively under contract and actively had awesome years with the franchises they coached, all in the Western Conference. The Knicks have requested and been denied to interview the head coaches of the Dallas Mavericks, Jason Kidd, the Houston Rockets, Ime Udoka, and the Minnesota Timberwolves, Chris Finch. They have requested interviews with all 3 of them and been denied interviews for all 3 of them because, duh. just like me asking Josh and Hunter if I can take their significant others out on dates, the answer's going to be no. I don't know what the plan is for James Dolan and the New York Knicks, but saying, hey, you mind if I take your wife out on a date? Probably not the right way to start your coaching search, despite being a big market, an up-and-coming team, and a team that made some noise. Obviously, an appealing job. Going to teams who have coaches under contracts is not going to work. James Dolan, bad owner. That's what I learned.
Far be it for me to defend James Dolan, a person I find reprehensible in many facets. But a team rebuilding in the manner that the Mavs are seemingly going to be and probably are looking for, kicking the tires on Jason Kidd, who I don't think is a very good head coach when you boil it down, I think sort of makes sense. I don't know if I'd do it, but I mean, that's what billionaires do. Why can't I have it? I want it. That's.
Well, I'll tell you this. If I am to defend him for whatever reason, sometimes you don't get things unless you ask.
I feel
Worst they can say is no.
I feel like we've been derelict in our duties.
Uh-oh.
We haven't spoken about the massive shift in college sports of colleges paying athletes at all.
We haven't, you're right.
Which is, I think, a topic, if I were to maybe throw some accusations out there you're afraid of because you don't fully understand it, so you don't want to dive into it.
Wow. That was over the line, Josh. That could have been an off-the-air conversation as a show. That's uncalled for.
But for a place we spent so much time talking about college sports, seems like that one might have been one that came across your desk worth talking about. And based on your reaction, I think I might be right.
That grin. Right. Josh got it.
He's right.
His face is getting a little red.
He's right.
And then the second thing.
Josh was right.
I hate it here.
And then the second thing is.
Wait, you can't just bring it up and not say anything.
Then you're derelict in your duty by bringing it up and then not talking about
said,
it.
Hunter.
We need another 15 minutes to even start to. It's a cap number that's going to continue to raise throughout. It's going to be interesting to see how colleges deem that they're going to give out that money for revenue sports versus non-revenue and how they're going to allocate it per player. All of that is still out there. It does seem like, good thing here, there's going to be some regulation on this. As without NIL, it is a completely lawless land with no rules and people doing things under the table that they probably shouldn't do, openly recruiting players using NIL despite that being illegal and in the rule books. This is the tip of the iceberg, but amateurism as we know it is dead.
Yeah, and it has been, but I agree on that.
Yes, it has been for a long time, but it is now dead. And then on top of that, did you see that EA Sports is going to be giving out compensation for what teams get played the most on their video game?
Oh,
so they changed their
We're gonna
model
make Kent
from
State
I think it was like
just powerhouse.
Yeah, so teams that basically, if you get played X amount of times, you get X amount of this pool. It's like a percentage based.
I love that.
So if you want the Badgers to get more money and do well,
buy the video
Badgers.
game, be the Badgers.
Yes.
Okay, interesting. I did not know that. I like that. Will, you look like you're itching. You got something?
No, I'm just stretching my legs.
Well, what you learned is you ain't as good as you once were. Will has returned to the game he loves. He's been playing beer league baseball.
It's men's league. Put some respect on it.
Oh, not beer league. Men's league. Baseball or softball?
Baseball.
And you've been catching again.
Yeah, I caught 9 innings last night. I'm very sore today.
So that's why you're stretching the legs. Mm-hmm. You ain't as good as you once were.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Hunter, what you got?
I have bad friends. You guys won't go see the Superman movie with me.
Okay. Well, what we will do is go to Door County Distillery with you. We will be there on Friday from 12 until 2.
You're doing it again. What do we do now at the end of programs?
Oh, no. Well, when I come to you with what you learned...
Well, you kind of did it for me.
You did.
Yeah, you stole his thunder.
And getting older.
Again, Strouf,
This
bad
is a bad
friend.
show for you. Yeah.
I was itching to talk about us I'm not going to try to pronounce it.
Yeah, you are. Yes, you are. Yes, you are.
Give it a shot. Come on. Sound it out.
Okay, this is bad because there's another word in the definition that I also don't know what it means.
Oh, great. Double whammy.
Ostensibly, apparently, or purportedly, but perhaps not actually.
Use it in a sentence.
No, I don't know what that means.
You ostensibly understand what ostensibly means.
I feel like a definition cannot end with, but perhaps not actually. Like,
No, but that's what the word means.
Yeah.
That's why it's a definition.
So it's something that we believe, but it might also not be the case.
So, like, you ostensibly understand what the word ostensibly means.
Right. You're pretending, but you might not actually, but you're trying to make it seem like it, ostensibly, like all those sort of fit into the...
derelict in a very poor condition as a result of disuse and neglect.
Sentence?
My body is in derelict after not catching for a while.
The tense was incorrect.
Yeah, you were close, though.
You were close to the right
idea.
thing.
Right idea.
I'll take close any day of the week.
You've been derelict in maintaining your body to be a catcher for 9 innings.
That'll do it for us. We'll see you Friday at Door County Distillery beginning at noon. We're on a little bit early and on a little bit later, 12 to 2 on Friday. Josh, you got 2 hours in you on Friday?
Got 8 hours in me, baby.
We'll talk to you then. Thanks to Will. Thanks to Hunter. Thanks to Josh. I'm Alex Strouf. We'll talk to you Friday.
Josh was right.
Yeah!